Okay, I want to first start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Arachah, Kodas Barakatam. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true spiritual leaders of all of Israel today, if you can receive it. To the fellow Akim around the four corners of earth, pushing the truthful faith and the faith and sincerity. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwaf out there listening and learning. And shalom to the Confusion of Faith brothers that we are hoping to join our ranks. Salakia, our ranks. Once again, this is the brother Yawasap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, and coming with good tidings and good news. I want to do a lesson. It's been in the spirit. I've been hearing about those California wildfires, and I came across a few different articles. First being this one. As far as it's from the trumpet, I don't know exactly the date. Oh, it's saying November 14th, so this is the most recent one. Then I know it's one from last year, but it's basically saying is California under a curse, and the Most High blessed me with a ability to get a phone that actually is not a government phone, actually a actual phone. So hopefully these videos will be more edifying. So I'm gonna jump straight into it. The article reads: "Is California under a curse? Multi-year droughts, catastrophic wildfires, out of control deficits. Why is this happening to the Golden State?" The answer will surprise you. Well, it says the article was updated in November 14, 2018, to reflect the latest catastrophic fires in California. California is experiencing another crippling crisis. The wildfires ravaging the state are the deadliest and most destructive ever. Roughly 120,000 acres of valuable land have been incinerated. About 7,000 structures have been destroyed, and at least 48 lives have been lost. 250,000 people have had to flee their homes, while hundreds are still missing. So those what they're saying are 48 lives are taken. That's that they know of. It's probably hundreds of people dead. The fires this month are only the latest in a series of record-breaking wildfires. 7 out of the 20 most destructive wildfires ever to hit the state have occurred since October 2017. California had a 6-year drought at the end of the 1980s. From 2011 to 2017, it suffered through another multi-year drought. The time period from 2011 to 2014 was the driest since record-keeping began. The drought killed tens of millions of trees and depleted water reserves across the state. It finally ended in 2017, and Northern California had the wettest winter in 100 years. But then massive floods caused $1 billion in damage to the road network alone. And I don't know if everybody recall, but I recall, I'll never forget where I was at when I found out about those floods. It wasn't just California flooded. You had Florida, so two different sides. Like when the brothers brought out in camp today, I believe it's the brother Ryab. No, Salakia. Can't remember what brother brought it up. Yeah, there was brother Ryab. He said how you got on one side of the country you got fires, so in California, and then on another side, the East Coast, you got floods. So it makes me think of the Straight Gate. I think it's in Ezra's. Let me try and get that real quick. And it's Second Ezra 7. Second Ezra 7. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is Second Ezra. So bear with me for a second. That ain't what I want. Because at the end of the day, this is the time when the Most High is, trying to wake up everybody. And it's like this scripture reminds me of this scripture. Like I said, at the end of the day, you got fire on one side and water on the other. It just touched my spirit when the brother said it, because at the end of the day, we're trying to find salvation. You know, so I'm gonna start. Second Ezra 7:6. There's also another thing: a city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. Verse 7, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left of deep water. And verse 8, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water so small there could but one man go there at once. So at the end of the day, you're not going to be walking, basically, when brothers bring this up, you're not going to be walking side by side, and at the end of the day, trying to hold on to the ways of this world. You know what I mean? Like I said, it just was so spiritual when the brother brought it up. He said, on one side of the country, you got fire, and on the other side, you got water. And I just took it like, the Most High is, you know, making his presence known. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we're trying, well, the brothers in the truth, they're trying to be obedient to this thing of ours, But as well, Zechariah 13:8, you got to come to the understanding that a lot of people just ain't going to get it, and a lot of Israelites not just going to be saved. They're just not going to be saved. Continuing with the article. The drought killed tens of millions of trees and depleted water reserves across the state. It finally ended in 2017 in Northern California. You had the wettest winter in 100 years, but then massive floods caused $1 billion in damage to the road network alone. Meanwhile, California's debt crisis has worsened. The state is more than $150 billion in debt, and that's why you had the proposal where they were trying to break California up into separate little, city states or whatnot. And then, I forgot, I can't remember if it was Apostle or somebody, uh, one of the brothers in one of the camps brought out about how they were talking about the purge. I think it was one of the elders, or I want to say it was either Apostle Tahar or can't quite recall at this exact moment. So Salakia for that. But they were saying how like the purge, and that's what they're doing down there as well. They're purging, you know what I mean? Like California's starting to look like um, Chicago to a certain extent. So you got all these things going on. Uh, Plus, on top of it, with the debt, the worst of any state in the United States. I did not know that. A detailed study of 2015 data, and that's the richest. Because that's where all the stars. That's why a lot of those stars. That's how you know it's the judgment from the Most High. Because in that paradise, California, a lot of wealthy people stayed out there, and a lot of those. What they say, like 80 to 90% of the people's homes there was destroyed. So that was like massive judgment from the Most High. Anyhow, a detailed study of 2015 data concluded that the state and local governments owe a total of 1.3 trillion. Other estimates are even higher. Doesn't it make you wonder what is happening in California? In December 1993, I'm going to skip all that. I'm going to read this. These fires revealed an even greater crisis. Reports say 20 of the 26 fires were set by arsonists. Even if that's the case, you know, Most High resideth in the kingdom of man. You know what I'm saying? So he put a spirit, or he moved their spirit to do that. At the end of the day, it's still the same result. Calamity, destruction, and judgment from the Most High to California. The Los Angeles area is seething with all kinds of hatred, homosexuality, uh, you know, pharmakia, sorcery, witchcraft, the actual pharmakia with the drugs, and then the actual, left-handed side, magic, which is only a microcosm of the entire nation. In many areas of the U.S., racial hatred is ready to explode like the Southern California firestorm, and we no longer have the will to implement the strong government action as needed. The Rodney King and Reginald Denny's trial, they went back too far, but everybody should remember that. Denny trials inflamed racial tensions. The 1992 Los Angeles race riots were the the city's worst ever. They were some of the deadliest riots in U.S. history. Others fear riots will also occur in these cities. That is a justifiable fear. A 6-year drought ended in 1991. It was the worst ever in California. That drought was followed by heavy rains and flooding, which caused heavy growth of grass, shrubbery, and weeds that led to the dangerous fires. I believe we must now look more directly to the spiritual, and that's the spirit. When he was on earth, Mashiach prophesied about Elijah to come, and his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. Matthew 17, verses 10 and 11. Mashiach said that and Elijah will come to prepare the way for his second coming. Matthew 16:28 and chapter 17, 1 through 4. The disciples were given a vision of the end time. Verse 9, But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. And, we of GMS, we believe that Abba Bivens was Elijah in the reincarnation. And, when you really go into the history of all that, it's very deep and it's very spiritual. And, look what they did to him. I mean, that man was murdered unjustly. You know what I'm saying? One of our forefathers was murdered unjustly. You got to remember, he was one of the few people to have been, it's not as hard as it was back in his day. You got to remember, that man woke up on his own and had to wake up other people. That shows you how powerful of a spirit he really did have. So, Elias has come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. The disciples knew that he spoke of John the Baptist, but remember, Mashiach said that modern day John or Elijah will come and restore all things. And Elijah, Salakia, and Abba Bivens actually restored the knowledge of who we were. He was the first one pushing, we were Israelites. Just before his second coming. That's how we know we're his coming is near. You know what I'm saying? The disciples knew that Mashiach referred to John the Baptist, and Mashiach's disciples today know who this modern day John or Elijah was. They must know who he was, or they could not do Yahweh's work. He's not. Oh, look at this shit. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna skip all that. Salakia for that. To turn the hearts of the fathers. Well, that's back to Abba Bivens, our forefather. These guys' name is Mr. Armstrong. What I'm saying? He fuck around and be the 7-day Adventist or something. You know what I mean? I'll go check into that after I get off. After I do the video. Anyhow, it says there's still another major prophecy about the end time Elijah. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. He shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And, our forefather Abba Bivens turned us back to our forefathers, and to our lineage and heritage. There's quote Malachi 4, verses 5 and 6. Here again we see that Elijah came just before the Great Tribulation, and Mashiach's second coming. And on that note, I'm gonna leave it at there. But the point is this, California's getting judged for multiple different reasons. You know what I mean? Like, look at what all takes place there. You got the rampant homosexuality, San Francisco. That's always been a homosexual's haven, and maybe that's the spirit, because, like I said, today when we were at camp, it was so many homosexuals we were seeing. As soon as I got down there, because the camp hadn't actually set up yet, so when I get down there, I only run into one brother, and I see like 3 past me when I'm first getting down there, and then just like it's all day, it's motherfucking faggots walking around in groups and crowds, and you know what I'm saying? And if you ain't paying attention, you know what I'm saying, they dressed up, full drag, faggot, dressed up like women. So, that's one of the reasons why I was getting judged. Then you got to remember, I did a video on it with one of the brothers. A few people that did a video about California trying to ban the Bible. Then you got, like I said, you got Holly Weird, you know what I'm saying? Just, multiple abominations that's going on in this place. And, this is the wrath of the Most High God. So, with that, I'm going to start jumping in the scriptures. Let's see. I'm going to get Lamentations 2 and 4. I'm gonna start at 3 because, like I said, this fire, the Most High God. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna start with that Hebrews, because it says in the book of Hebrews that our power is a consuming fire. So that's how you know His Spirit is on these fires. I mean, I was listening to some people. I haven't really watched it. I mean, when I catch them, you know, people doing commentary about the fires or whatnot, you know, like I said, I'm just now getting a TV, so I'm just now starting to watch the, TV like that. Majority. That's why I was doing a lot of videos on the out of that Bible commentary and out of books and stuff, because, like I said, for my lot, I wasn't able to, watch the TV like that. But my point being, the Spirit of the Most High God, Yahweh by Yahshua Yahweh Shah, is in that fire, because they saying, like, the fire is moving. Of course fire moves, but they saying, like, it's like people try to escape it. It's catching them. If you ain't moving fast, it's overtaking cars and people and all kind of shit. So anyhow, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace whereby we may serve for Salakia, whereby we may serve Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah acceptably with reverence and godly fear. Verse 29, for our power is a consuming fire. So, like I was saying, we believe, well, we know, and I ain't gonna say we believe, we know that the Most High Spirit is in that fire, just like His Spirit will be in those missiles when a lot of these people become missile food. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse, I'm going to start at 4. Well, the point is in 4. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye. In the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion, he poured out his fury like fire. And that's what he's doing to the, California right now. He fucking that place up, and, rightfully so. I'm going to go to the book of Psalms, 89. 89 and 46. I'm going to start at 45. I'm going to get to the point. 46. How long, Yahweh, wilt thou hide thyself forever? Shall thy wrath burn like fire? Because He is burning the fuck out of these people in California. Just got a whole bunch of scriptures on the fire, and this should move your spirit to realize that not only, and I'm sure the angels and spirits is in there too, because, Psalms 104 and 4, who make of His angel spirits His ministers a flaming fire, I don't think the concordance is this one. I would go into the words, but this one I don't think has the concordance. Maybe I could close it down and, but nah. I'm going to go into Deuteronomy 32 and 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. And like I said, if you go into and actually check into like this article and what's going on, I got multiple articles on this, I'm going to actually read out of our plane dealer. I got, like I said, because it's not just that Paradise place. There's been multiple places in California. And like I said, it's overtaking cars, homes, you know what I mean? The land is really set ablaze. Psalms 97. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to go into another article. 97 and 1. The Lord reigneth, let the earth rejoice, let the multitude. It's lucky for that. I don't know how I just did that. But I'm going to go to Isaiah 26. I must have been moving too fast. I got some scriptures in Jeremiah, but I'm probably going to end it with Isaiah. I know all these is about fire. One of them is about the missiles. But I think it's 11. Okay, so I'm gonna go get another article. California wildfires. This is the Plain Dealer, dated Sunday, November 11, 2018. Now, like I said, everybody knows about Paradise, California. That was where a lot of stars own their homes and people with a little bit of, well, not a little, with wealth. This place is Agora Hills, California. College professor Jeff McClean hiked up a winding road Saturday toward a terrible unknown, expecting the worst. The ferocious Woosley fire has come through Friday after leaping the freeway. McClean had grabbed his wife's computer and some documents and evacuated. That night, someone had posted a photo on social media of a nearby house consumed by the flames. He stayed awake all night thinking, I'll never wear that cowboy hat again. Um, it said, I'll never wear that sweater again. So he's thinking about everything he lost. But fires can be capricious. I know I'm not saying that right, but I'm going to spell it out. C-A-P, cap, capricious. Capricious. I don't have my dictionary with me, so I'm not going to try and pronounce that anymore. That's why I spelled it out. He arrived and stared. I'm going I'm gonna bypass all this. It's gonna go to say the Northern Fire, the campfire in the Sierra Nevada foothills north of Sacramento. Listen to that. Foothills, mountains of Sacramento is the most destructive individual wildfire in California's history. As of Saturday, is already uh, has destroyed nearly 7,000 structures in and around the mountain town of Paradise. Because that's going back to that scripture that I said that he's gonna have the mountains on fire and all that. Bear with me, Akim, because I am extremely tired, but my spirit, I got a little energy because the Most High, as long as the Most High is dealing with me, moving through me with, power and grace, I can finish this out. So, anyhow, um, matter of fact, let's go back and get that though. What did I say? 32, 22. Yeah. For a fire is kindled in the mind, anger shall burn onto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Back to Isaiah, and then finishing the article, Isaiah 26, I believe. It said it already had destroyed nearly 7,000 structures in and around the mountain town of Paradise, and has been blamed for 23 deaths, including 14 bodies found Saturday. Sheriff deputies are looking into reports of missing people. This event was the worst case scenario. Buck County Sheriff Horry Hona said it's the event that we have feared for a long time. The smoke like orange fog that enveloped Chico and nearby towns Friday gave way to a low-lying haze that spread all the way up to Redding on Saturday due to a shift in winds overnight. Uh, I'm going to skip that. It says fire in the south, and that was in the north. Fire in the south. The Southern California investigators said 2 bodies were found. Deaths that might be linked to the wildfires. Winds eased Saturday, but are expected to ramp up again today. The weather that is conducive to fires, dry air, not of a drop of rain, high wind, is forecast to continue until late Tuesday. About 200,000 people were forced to evacuate from the Woosley fire, which sparked into existence mid-afternoon Thursday near Semi Valley, even as fire departments responded to a second wildfire called the Hill Fire just west of Thousand Oaks. The Woosley fire proved to be truly explosive, expanding within 24 hours to some 35,000 acres. Can you imagine that? It races from, how big an acre is? uh, Call hello Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem. It raced from the Cone Navajo Coneo, because it's Conejo. I'm assuming it's supposed to be like Navajo. Coneo Valley to the Pacific Ocean. Straight across the highway 101 in the Santa Monica Mountains. Its speed impressed veteran fire officials. It's spreading quicker than it used to, said Mark Lorenzen, chief of the Ventura County Fire Department. They weren't surprised. They knew the wind was coming when their There's wind here. There's fire reliably. But David Richardson, deputy chief of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, said everyone had expected a lull in the wind Friday afternoon, and it didn't materialize. The gusts stayed dangerous. The fire is very bad and monumental. It's the historical fire, Richardson said. These fires come along every 30 years or so. It was unpredictable. It burned some houses to the foundation. Didn't I just read that? Everything's gone, nothing but charred ruins, while leaving the one next door untouched. That was the case in Oak Park, which abuts the rugged hills separating um, Conejo Valley from Semi Valley. People were still gradually returning to their neighborhoods Saturday. They found a largely intact community pocketed with destroyed homes. California knows fire. Californians have a relationship with fire. They read smoke signals. They study the fire glow on a ridge line. I'm going to bypass all that because it's going into people. My point of bringing this up is, like I said, there's multiple fires happening there. I'm going to read the last little paragraph. It says, Trump blames California. On Saturday, President Donald Trump made his first comments on the wildfires, blaming California's government for its management of the forests. There's no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California, except that forest management is so poor, Trump tweeted Saturday morning. Billions of dollars are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement in the forest. Remedy now or no more Fed payment. You hear this shit? Okay, wait. We was just speaking on that too about, how, the pride of Esau. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck you so, you know, blinded by, the Most High got him so much in a trick bag. You really think that this is just, you can solve this by managing and putting people here and putting people there? Like, you can't see that it's something spiritual behind this, and that's gonna be Esau's downfall. So I laugh at it. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm gonna. Because there was another article in the Plain There's, and it's still. I mean, I think it's dated Sunday, September 30th, 2018. It talks about firefighters from Bray, California, inspect and cut a fire line August 1st as the ranch fire burns near Upper Lake, California. A day earlier, it and the river fire covered more than 74,000 acres. And basically, it was talking about how White House sees global warming of 7 degrees. So they're trying to say that global warming increased because of this. So at the end of the day, I'm about to go back into the scripture so I could end this. Because at the end of the day, like I said, this isn't about like I said, even if it was some arsonists or whatever, that's the Most High put the spirit on them to do this. Just like He gonna put the spirit on. I mean, the Most High rulers in the kingdom of man. I can't stress that enough. This is the book of Isaiah 26:1. And that day shall. No, that's not what I was looking for. Salakia for that. 26:11. I'm gonna start at 10. No, I'm gonna start at 9. I'm gonna start at. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at 4. This is Isaiah 26, starting at verse 4. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Yahweh is everlasting strength. Verse 5, for He bringeth down them that dwell on high, and that's what He's doing to California, them Californians, because everybody want to run to California when you get a little bit of money, because it has better weather than a lot of places, and you amongst these so-called elite, rich, wealthy entertainers and actors, and at the end of the day, look at how the Most High fucking that place up. The lofty city lived low, and look at how they looking now. I mean, they probably got $1 million homes. When you go into paradise, like I said, that was a lot of land out there. You know what I mean? Like I said, wealthy people stayed out there, and majority of that place is fucked up. I mean, like I said, from what I heard when I saw it on the news, they said from 80 to 90% of that place is destroyed. He layeth it low. It. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it, even to the dust. Verse 6, the foot shall tread it down, even in the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. Verse 7, the way of the just is uprightness, which we're trying to be the just. The man's pushing the truth with faith and sincerity. trying to hopefully be in that number of the hopeful elect. Thou must most upright dost wait the paths of the just. Verse 8, yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Lord. And, what he's doing in California's judgment, just like how he did, like I said, I did a video about the floods, like how the brother said, like when I started this video, on the West Coast, you got fire, on the East Coast, you still got flooding. I did a video about the different floods, and like I said, I came across a video about a guy, I think his YouTube channel is Mr. B333 or something like that. But the guy, he follows the weather. I don't know if he's a meteorologist or what. He's following these different, he's following weather patterns. And just from that video, it showed, like, they're not even reporting this. He said pretty much the whole country, you got different states that was just all getting flooded at one point in time. So, you know, that's all judgment. You know what I mean? If the Most High flooded the whole earth at one point, water is a sign of judgment, just like this fire is going to be a sign of judgment, which we get. And the last sign of judgment is going to be that nuclear fire. Oh Yahweh, have we waited for thee? The desire of our soul is to thy name and to the remembrance of thee. Verse 9, with my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, my spirit within me, and I seek thee early. Meaning, as soon as I rise, For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. And that's the truth. Without pain, you ain't going, that's the spirit. Because like I said, when we was at camp, brother was talking about how pain is a great motivator. The great corrector is a great teacher. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, like I said, I noticed, I've met people that got burnt, you know what I mean? And they respect fire after they get burnt, you know what I mean? So, the Most High got to spiritually burn some of these motherfuckers' spirit, you know what I mean? Not just spiritually, but physically, you know what I mean? Salakia for that, because, spiritually, that's why, they was putting the prophets to death, because they were spiritually burning they spirit. Motherfucker was so cut by it, you know what I mean? Like with Stephen, when you go into that, I ain't trying to digress, but when you go into the story about Stephen in the book of Acts, he was so much in the spirit, he cut them so hard to the spirit, they killed that dude. Well, it's like, not dude, they killed our forefather, you know what I mean? They killed a great man of the Lord. And like I said, I heard Apostle Ramalam speaking on it, I was just listening to his video, he said he was so much in the spirit, you don't even know if he felt it, you know what I mean? Like, and I could believe that though, because I remember I got hit with a brick, bashed in, and I didn't feel none of it, you know what I'm saying? So I could see him being so much in the spirit, you know what I mean? Almost felt like Stephen, I'm like that, but the Most High, I guess, had more work for me to do. I thought it was going to be like Stephen, but it actually ended up being like Paul. Inside joke, brothers. Well, any brothers that's in the scripture, they can understand what I'm talking about. And I can laugh at it now, you know what I mean? That's the power of the Most High Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Years ago in the world, I'd be ready to fuck somebody up, or, you know what I mean? But now, I could laugh at, a calamity like that, because I know I was chastised by the Lord, and he loved me enough, he didn't take me out. Verse 10, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of the uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. And like I said, at the end of the day, look at these people who ain't trying to come back to, the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh by Yeshem Yahweh Shah. Verse 11, Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of thine image shall devour them. And, the Most High is devouring these people and their possessions. I mean, like I said, it's people, what they say, like 48 people came up missing. 48 people are confirmed dead, but then there's hundreds of people missing. What do you think? Where do you think these people are at? They ain't just, they ain't go vacation in Florida. You know what I mean? Like, they probably more than 9 times out of 10. I ain't gonna be presumptuous and say, because I really don't know. The Most High, could be sparing some of them, but 9 out of 10 people, is, what's that? Fire bait. Well, not bait, food. You know what I mean? Fire food. How about that? Isaiah 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And that's a devouring fire. Like I said, I was listening to, like I said, this lady speak on it. She was like, the way it's moving, you know what I'm saying, it's like it's alive. You know what I mean? You know, it is devouring everything. I got two more scriptures. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 27. Behold, the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua cometh from far, burning with his anger. And best believe Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is angry. I mean, because you got the brothers in the truth, you know, that are angry and vexed and upset, and you know what I mean. So if we are, you know, it says in scripture, we're made in his image. So at the end of the day, if we upset, you know he's upset. You know what I mean? Look at this place. Look at what it stands for. You know what I mean? Look, you know, when you take the time to really analyze the shit, like I said, I'm not making this up. Literally saw about 8 fucking men dressed up like women. You know what I'm saying? How much more so can, I mean, how much longer, I mean, how much longer do you think the Most High is going to allow this place to actually exist? You know what I'm saying? When you really go into history and find out when every empire, every major empire that got to, when it got to its pinnacle of wickedness, it was destroyed. And America is no exception. Um, like I say, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 27, behold, the name of Yahweh cometh from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue is a devouring fire. And, you know, his tongue is our tongue, you know, because we cussing this fucking place out, you know what I mean? This place ain't shit, you know what I mean? Anybody that actually, you know, is loving this place need to be destroyed with it. And I'm going to end on this scripture. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 2. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. Salakia. I don't know why I got that scripture. Well, yeah, it does still fit the point. You know, the Most High is angry. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversary, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. And, you know, 2/3 and these heathen nations are the enemies of the Most High, our power. Verse 3, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storms, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Um, I'm going to skip to 5. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. So, I'm going to keep on reading. Verse 6, who can stand before his indignation? You know, you got California, you had New York with the, you know, I was reading this book. I can't think of the damn name of that book, but that one guy, he's a fucking Khazarian. And um, I know there's a sequel to it. What's the name of that damn book where it talks about 9/11, and it's actually like it basically says like, I don't know if this dude set up or what, but it said how, you know, when them twin towers came down or whatnot, he was saying how he went in scripture and said that, you know, he compared to what happened in the past. I know he's reading out Jeremiah, and with 9/11, he was saying how, you know, they were, you know, basically, I want to find it. Damn, what's the name of that damn book? I think his name is like Salakia. Oh, I gotta find it. I think his name is like John. Yeah, that was his name right there. I think it's this one. Yeah, the Harbinger. That's the book. I'm gonna read a quick. It, is it possible that there is this ancient mystery that holds the secret of America future? That is, this mystery lies behind everything from 9/11 to the collapse of the global economy. That ancient harbinger of judgments are now manifesting in America. That God is sending America a prophetic message of what is yet to come. Before its end as a nation, there appeared in ancient Israel 9 specific warnings and omens of national destruction. These same 9 harbingers are now manifesting in America with profound ramifications for America's future and end time prophecy. Hidden in an ancient biblical prophecy from Isaiah, Salakia, I said Jeremiah, it was Isaiah. The mysteries revealed in the Harbinger are so precise that they foretell recent American events down to exact days. 3,000-year-old mystery that revealed the exact date of the stock market collapse of 2008. My point being is, it's a deep blood book. I mean, it's weird how he came from nowhere, you know what I mean? But I will always remember, like I said, it was certain things that men in the past of Israel was saying when God was sending judgments back in that day, and it was like it was correlating to what they were saying when 9/11 happened, how they were going to rebuild, and it was going to be just twice as strong. You know what I mean? And that's just the pride of Esau. But like I said, and what was I just reading in the book of Nahum? What did it say? He said, the mountains. I'm gonna reread it. Nahum 1:5. The mountains quake at him, and his hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence, which he's doing right now. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Verse 6. Who could stand before his indignation, and who could abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. And that's a spirit, because, like I said, I was thinking about what the brother Irashad was saying at camp today. He was saying how at 9/11, at the end of the day, when that building was coming down, best believe, rubble fell on top of people. It was somebody's fate to die like that, just like it was somebody's fate. Like when you had that shooting, they were talking about that Las Vegas shooting. I believe it was that Las Vegas shooting, and how people escaped that to get killed. You know what I mean? And the shooting that happened in California. Like, these multiple things that's happened in California, mind you. You had the shooting. It's beautiful. And once again, call her Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah by Hashem Harakah Kodash Barakatham. And with that, I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salakia. And with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. And I want to first start off and say, call her Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakah Kodash Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the 4 corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwaf listening and learning. Shalom to the Akim as pushing the truth, like I said, with faith and sincerity. Shalom to the confusion and face brethren out there that we're hoping to join our way. Salaki, hoping to join our ranks. And with that, Shalom and Adawan Ratazah. I'm able to come with more lessons in the future, hopefully soon. And with that, Shalom, Shalom. And a ball.